this is Russ. I'm back on the road again. Actually never really left the road. I just went back home and dropped off one bike and picked up another. Yeah, I'm on the same day as our last ride that went to Harper College using the Komoot map and the Apple map. So yeah, I dropped off the Magicycle Cruiser and picked up another bike. I still had battery range left on that, but I wanted a little bit more range, so starting out with a fresh battery on the Rad Rover 5. I'm using the triangle battery that's built into, well, it's not built in, that's mounted to the bike. So this is a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery from Unit Pack Power. Now, Unit Pack Power batteries have had a lot of negativity given towards it because some have said that it catches fire and all sorts of stuff, and I mean, I'm sure maybe it did. Has not been my experience so far, and I hope it never does. But yeah, you got to be careful with any kind of battery that you use. And I did notice that some of them sometimes use them, they mount them up in parallel and everything, and then sort of running two batteries at the same time. Unipack Power has said that they don't really recommend that, but people do it, and then when they charge it up and everything, it starts to explode. So I think the safest way to do it is if you just use one battery at a time. When one exhausts, just go ahead and change it out to the other battery. So now maybe you don't get the most efficiency of using it that way. Maybe you get more abilities if you run it in parallel, but yeah, I'm not into that. I'm not, you know, if you're a major performance bike guy, you might want to do that, but I'm not into that. I'm just, I just want to ride my bike. I want my range. I want to go farther away, that type of thing. That's why I have a larger battery, just for more range, really. That's all I really want it for. I don't want it for anything else. And so the Rad Rover 5, I did decide I will keep it. I am not going to sell the bike. I first thought that I would, but really I don't have too many of these larger, I don't have too many of these larger bikes. I only have the Magicycle Cruiser and this bike that are both 26-inch wheel, 4-inch fat tire bikes. So I said, yeah, I'll just keep it. I don't know if there'll be other larger bikes available to me down the road, but the more I thought about it, I said, yeah, it doesn't have the power as the Magicycle. I don't know if that guy wanted to turn or wanted me to turn. Can't really tell what he wanted as he honked towards me. Is he saying I should turn in front of you or whatever? But he did slow down, so I'm thinking he was letting me come through. I can't tell. He put his hands up. I think he wanted to turn, but he saw me, he honked me anyways. Yeah, you can't really tell. You don't know what they're going to do. But since he'd stopped, I figured, well, okay, then I'm going. So anyways, yeah, I don't have too many of these larger bikes. So I figured, yeah, I'll keep it. I paid for this one. It wasn't a review bike, it was one that I bought. And also because of its motor, as we all know, many of us feel that it really isn't a true 750 watt motor. We're kind of thinking it's 500, it peaks at 750. It's okay too. There's only really one hill that I have a little bit harder time with, and we'll come up to that hill in a minute. That's the one I always test things out with. That's the only hill that goes a little bit of problems with this bike going up. Other than that, I really don't have that much other problems because somebody noted that out here in Chicago suburbs it's kind of boring. It's all flatlands, and he's used to hills and everything. He's out in the UK. Yep, you're right. You guys have more interesting things to see than we do. But here in the Chicago area, yeah, it's all flat. I passed those guys before on the other bike. I wonder if they noticed I switched out bikes. Probably not. So yeah, there's only really one area that has a problem using this bike, but not any of the other areas. So it's perfectly fine to use. I will say that this bike dramatically feels heavier than the Magicycle, and it's probably because I loaded it down with a heavier battery, but in general, this bike does feel heavier. I mean, the Magicycle has so much pep that when I hit that throttle from a dead stop. Morning. The front end of the bike will kind of tip upwards. Yeah, it almost wants to do a wheelie on me. That doesn't happen on the Rad Rover. It doesn't have the torque, first off, and then I think the added weight to it makes it that much tougher to do something like that. But as you've seen in the past, I've unlocked the bike to do the 25 miles per hour. And, oftentimes I will hit 23, 24 miles an hour off this bike. I do that usually when I'm on the streets, competing with the cars. On these paths, I don't do 23 miles an hour. Sometimes people claim you do, but I don't. When they see that, it's usually on the streets. On occasion, you might see something peak at 20, 21, 22, and then it'll drop back down. I don't consistently ride at that speed if I can avoid it, or if maybe I don't notice it, I don't know, but I don't consciously try to do it that way. I think more often than not I'm doing about 18 miles an hour on most of these paths, and then they do have a speed limit of 15, of course, so yeah, we're over by about 3 miles an hour oftentimes. It's not that big of a deal, really. It's 3 miles an hour. It's kind of easy to accidentally hit that. So today we're just going to go ride the 3 mile path, because I've already ridden quite a bit today already. I did over 15 miles on the ride before taking this bike and taking it out. So yeah, I don't want to go too much farther, but I did want to ride a little bit more. So, and a lot of these videos now are kind of like cut in half. I don't do the entire rides. I'll split them up a little bit. So yeah, I oftentimes I do ride more than you see, but I decided, well, I'll roll the camera anyways, and we'll continue on. Morning. Oh, that was interesting. The first time a dog actually ran away from my bike. They're usually trying to come after my bike. Kind of walked off to the side. So I think the last time I was on this path, we were coming up on the police officer that was riding his motorcycle on the path on July 4th. I was really surprised to see him, quite frankly, but glad to see that he was out there patrolling the area, keeping us all safe. Morning. Yeah, when I looked at his motorcycle, because he's got these big saddlebags on either side of the bike, and then he's got a big bag on the back rear rack, that says police on it. It looks huge, but if you took all that stuff off, his motorcycle isn't that much bigger than my regular Rad Rover 5 here. Need a drink. I put a bunch of ice in here because I do know it melts off pretty quickly. But the problem is when it's fresh ice in there, kind of hard to squeeze the bottle then because the ice is in the way. Alright, so we'll be coming up on the area that I always have a problem with this bike. And going over the hill. That hill is always tough for this one. If you don't get a running start on it, you're going to have a hard time getting over it. So it's always after this bridge. Now, many times I've tried to do it. Problem with it though is if there's people there, you can't do it. So I'm on pedal assist level 5. I'm not going to throttle it. I'm just going to leave it on pedal assist level 5, which should be full maximum speed anyways. And I am pedaling relatively hard now. And my speedometer is dropping. Going over the top pretty soon. I'm pedaling hard, but I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. Dropped to 9.8. 9.8. That is very typical with the weight of this bike and the lack of the torque, the smaller motor. That's very typical. I've always seen it hit into the 9-mile-an-hour ranges when I go over to the top. Yeah, I'm not suffering or anything like that. But I do have to pedal harder. And as you know, with the replaced knee, I cannot pedal as hard as you guys can pedal that have decent knees. So one of the things for me with the e-bike is to be able to actually even get out on the road. And again, without the e-bike, I would never be able to go on any of this. I mean, we lived in this general area for a while, but I had never gone on it because of my knees. Many years and not be able to go on it. And then with just before I went for my knee replacement, I started taking my mobility scooter around the 3-mile path. And that's when I said to myself, one day I'm going to be able to ride this thing with my bike. Never was able to do it, but I was able to do it with the e-bike. That's good enough for me. Whether it's a non-e-bike or e-bike, I was able to get back out again. So yeah, the e-bike gives me the ability to do things I couldn't do before the e-bike. I really like being out here. I mean, I've gone through this path so many times now. Yeah, it gets a little boring after a while because you're seeing the same things over and over, but just the fact of getting out is, to me, a good thing. I'm not a big fan of being in hot weather, as you know, and you all laughed at me. It's 40. What did we say? It was 84 degrees, and I go, it's kind of hot, and you guys are laughing. You guys have over 100-degree weathers. Out in Arizona, out in Florida, you guys have the hot weather, man. And Pedro, I know you comment on my videos all the time. Yeah, you got hot weather there, but you guys got humidity too. The humidity is the killer. Yeah, my folks moved to Florida after we grew up and we got married, and then the two of them moved down to Florida. They were in the Lehigh Acres area. So you guys in Florida know where that is. And we'd go and visit them, and I tell you, I don't even want to get outside during the day. I don't even... Okay, hit the bump. Make sure that guy knows I'm coming through. Okay. Yeah, I don't even want to head outside. It was so hot out there. Only in the mornings or late evenings did I want to get out. All right, sorry. I got to make this turn here. I gotta hit the button. Sorry, I know the camera always hits the thing when I do that, but there's no other way to do it. And it's harder to maneuver. This bike is heavier than the Magicycle. And it's not a mid-step, so top bar, you gotta always watch out. Alright, we got the thing, but people are still going. Yeah, always look out for right turning people. They'll turn right into you if you're not careful. So yeah, Pedro, you're out there, out in Florida. Yeah, it's it's too hot for me, man. I'm not going there. I think I remember too going to Florida and visiting like Disney World out in Orlando. It always seemed to rain at like 2 o'clock or something. It's like a daily rain. They could almost predict when it's going to happen, and then it'll rain for a little bit, then it'll stop. And everything will be all dried out within a half hour. Because it's so hot, it just evaporates all that water. So, no, sorry. I'm not heading out to Florida, even though you said I should come out there. Can't do it. Both my parents have passed away, so we won't be going down there to visit anymore, I don't think. Now, let's talk about something else here. Some people have asked me, do I do group rides, and will I ever have a group ride for Russ's Ride viewers locally, or those who want to come? I don't know about that. Okay, we're going to take the shortcut because we have the Red Rover. I can't go up those hills. There's another hill if I took the long route. Now, I don't know about that. And here's the reason why. I know that when I ride, I go a certain speed. When you ride, you might not. You guys might slow me down. Maybe you might be so fast that I can't catch up to you. I don't know. I think we all ride at different speeds. I think it would be kind of tough, quite frankly, to do a group ride. And with all the negativity we already have with just a single bike on the road, what are we going to get when we have a bunch of you guys coming down the road? A bunch of e-bikes all at one time? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if we'll do it, quite frankly. Okay, it is kind of neat. This guy's got a carrier thing in the back of it, and then his other kid is riding along with him. Now we're all going to have to cross. We're going to have to make sure they cross safely first. We'll just stay behind. All right, so they have gotten past. I just wanted to make sure they got past there safely first. And he's got a kid, and he's got several other kids inside. I think 1 or 2 kids inside that carrier as well. But you can see how long we've been waiting here. I've always said that this intersection here needs some type of push button thing to stop traffic. Wow, it took that long before we finally hit a clearance. Craziness. Yeah, it's just like an accident waiting to happen right there. Alrighty, we're heading towards the 3-mile path. I call it the 3-mile path. Yeah, we're rolling over something. So we'll let them go through, and then we'll pass them, or we'll go the other direction. All right, I'm gonna pass you. Have a good day. All right. Yeah, coming down that hill, we hit the 25 miles an hour. Yeah, sometimes, you hit something like that and you come down, you're coming down really fast. You've got a lot of momentum, as people have mentioned in the past. Got a lot of momentum going for you. Yeah, I've always thought those are kind of interesting. You have a little carrier in the back, carry a couple kids in the back, but the other kid was kind of complaining. If the wind isn't blowing up against them, it's kind of hot in there, I'm sure. Sitting there waiting at the cross section there, I'm sure he was getting hot. Now last year I did ride a lot more than I do this year, which is kind of funny considering that the channel has grown so much this year compared to last year. But I find that there's so many things going on between home stuff to deal with, bike review things to deal with, and weather to deal with. The weather has really stopped a lot of my riding this year. I think too last year, when the e-bike was new to me, I did everything I could to get out. This year, not so much. If the weather was bad, I wasn't gonna head out. Last year, it might not rain, I'll head out and it'll start drizzling on me or something. This year, not so much so. But I would say that the rides that I have done tend to be longer than last year's rides. I did 15 point something miles already on the other bike. This bike we've taken out, we've already done 5.7 miles already. So we've done 20 miles already. So I'm not tired out. Of course, I've been throttling and pedaling, but mostly throttling, I think. So I'm not tired out from any of this. If I over pedal, my knees will pay the price the next day. I could feel it. I'm pedaling now. I don't know if you can tell, but if I'm throttling, of course, I'm not gonna be tired. There's no way. I will say that I've been wearing these long sleeve jersey things that are designed for riding and running and things like that. They're kind of cool. Yeah, they're cool in the sense that I'm not hot, I'm saying. Okay, even the black one that my daughter and son-in-law gave me, I'm not hot from it, even though it's black. I typically wear black, in case you don't know. If you've watched any of the knee replacement stuff, you always see me in a black shirt. That came from my law enforcement days. It started out then, and photography days as well. I'll tell you the story again in case you never heard it. Those who've been with me a long time have heard the story. But yeah, I was at that time I was interning with the San Diego Police Department with the Evidence Tech Division, and they called it Field Services Division. And so, good morning. And so, we would work crime scenes, and yeah, it's kind of a dirty job. I mean, it's not a suit and tie job. You're going out there crawling around, collecting evidence. Sometimes you're in dirt and all sorts of stuff. You're not going to wear good clothes. You're going to wear, blue jeans and things like that, right? Yeah, I see this guy all the time. So anyways, you're not going to wear really good stuff. You're going to wear blue jeans and t-shirts and whatever, but word came down from the chief. He says, you guys can't wear blue jeans anymore. That did not sit well with the evidence techs. I mean, when we heard the news, everyone was like, what? What do they want us to wear? You know, expensive slacks or something like that while we're out on the crime scene? The logic behind it was we're on camera too often. You know, the news would pick up stuff, and you know, you get a crime scene, the news reporters show up, and so we're on camera on TV all the time. He says, you guys don't look good in blue jeans. So then they finally said, okay, if you're gonna wear jeans, you gotta wear black jeans. So everyone started wearing black jeans. That was the start of it, okay? And so during my days shooting photography, you know, at weddings, I originally started out wearing a suit and tie. You know, back in the day, that's what we all wore, you know, in the days of film photography. But then, as time went by and we were shooting digital and stuff now, photographers started to just wear black shirts. He says, well, that, you know, we want to blend in, we don't want to stand out. The most easy thing to blend in was black pants with black shirts. So that's why you see a lot of wedding photographers will wear black. Because, you know, wearing a suit and tie and dealing with photography all day long, and, you know, like, hey, in San Diego and stuff, you're sweating like crazy. So it became black shirt, black pants. And I think that kind of stuck with me. Over the years, I just stuck with wearing black. So I always say I'm the Chinese Johnny Cash. I'm always wearing black, and I ended up starting to wear things like black polo shirts, golf shirts, tennis shirts. What would you call it? Everyone has a different thing to call it. I don't know what they want to call it. Morning. Golf shirts, tennis shirts, polo shirts. So yeah, I always wore black short sleeve tennis shirts, polo shirts, golf shirts with black jeans. To this day, I still do that. I don't know how many years I've been doing it. I'll tell you this. Thank you. Being known as the guy that always wears black, it's a lot easier, I'll tell you. You don't have to think about it. I got a lot of those shirts. I got a lot of those pants. You know, I don't have to think about it. Of course, you might say black is hot. It's not good to wear it in the hot sun. Yeah, it's true. But that's what I wear. People see me as like, you never change. Do you even wear anything other than that one shirt? No, I got a lot of those shirts. I've got a lot of it. That's the thing. When I buy them in bulk. I'll buy 10 or 20 at a time. So when I had my photography school, I actually had the shirts embroidered with the company name, the school's name. My wife used to do that for me, but then she got tired of doing it because, you know, there's a lot of those shirts. So then eventually it just became straight black shirts. But they were kind of nice when she had the company logo on the front of the shirt. It's like where a front pocket would be on the left side, and you'd have the name of the company, name of the school. But to this day, I still buy those shirts, and I still wear the black, so I'm always in black. I don't have to think about it. That's how I kind of look at it. There's no design, of course. It's okay.
Go home. Go home. And
Thank you.
go home.
So anyways, I'm always in black. So obviously the people there are a little bit handicapped. So it was best to stop let them go through, or the lady pulled the other guy over to the side. All right, so we did the 3-mile path. Time to head back. Just had something fly up against me. There was a butterfly hit me in the neck. Black butterfly. Yeah, I run into bugs. I tell you, I keep hitting into bugs this year. That was the first time I actually had a straight hit from a butterfly into the neck. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. More rides coming up. We'll be going to different places, hopefully. But after a long day of riding, I think I'm done for the day. I'll talk to you guys next time.